Hi, I'm Darian and I'll be talking to you on the 10 things PIs need to know about managing grants. Let's follow Tuffy as we get started on this journey. First, it's important to know the rules of the road. You can find these by reviewing your Notice of Grant Award Terms and Conditions. This is the document you received from the funding agency, letting you know you got the grant or your sponsored program administrator. You might want to take a moment to pull out your award terms and conditions so that you can look it over during this presentation. Here are some key things to notice. Find and highlight your reporting deadlines and set up reminders in your calendar. Look for any special conditions on spending. For example, does it say that out-of-state travel is not allowed, or is there a limit on how much you can spend each day on travel? Make sure the amount of your grant is stated correctly, as well as your project's start and end dates. Identify which uniform guidance guidelines and agency terms and conditions apply to your grant. Find out whether carryovers of unused funds are allowed. Take note of whether the agency needs to approve any budget revisions. Plan ahead for spending. For example, all travel requests need prior approval. Keep in mind that international travel can take up to 6 weeks to pre-approve. Using the right spending mechanism is necessary when you want to spend grant funds. You'll need to know when a purchase order is required, when to use a P-card, and what forms you'll need to complete. Your sponsored program administrator can help you figure all of this out. The OSP website has a lot of helpful information about this too. When you want to hire people to work on your project, OSP will help. Even though you are the director of your project, only the CSUF-ASC has the authority to make employment commitments. So if you plan to hire people, meet with your sponsored program administrator and HR as soon as possible. Hiring people involves following important deadlines and filling required paperwork even if you already know who you want to hire. Your HR specialist will help you with posting positions and recruiting, and will assist in navigating any gray areas, like how to pick consultants from your grant. You will also be instructed on how to review and approve timesheets online so that your staff gets paid on time. Do you expect a delay in receiving your award? You can request a fund advance. Fund advance requests must be approved by your dean and by OSP, and if approved, will allow you to begin spending before your grant award is received or your contract is fully executed. You can find this form from our website. It is very important to know what costs are allowable on your grant so that you can spend your funds in accordance with sponsored guidelines. Your Notice of Grant Award Terms and Conditions, the document we saw at the beginning of this presentation, will guide you. If you aren't sure, don't drive off the road. Ask your grant administrator about allowable costs first, before you buy. Review your spending every month. This is just like reviewing your credit card statement. OSP provides a financial reporting tool allowing you to do this. You can pay yourself from your grant by requesting release time from your teaching obligations during the academic period. You may also request additional pay for project-related work that you do during the non-academic period. If your project end date is approaching and you still have work to do, you may request a no-cost time extension. Most federal grants allow a one-time extension of up to 12 months as long as you ask before your project's end date. Check with your sponsored program administrator about deadlines and procedures. As you near the end of your project, work with your sponsored program administrator to close your accounts. Make sure you have spent all your grant funds. Disencumber any open purchase orders. Submit all invoices no later than 60 days after the end date. Complete all reports that funding agency require. Make sure there are no payroll commitments past the end date of your project, and submit all timesheets and absence reports by the end date. Last but definitely not least, learn to love the red tape. PIs on federally funded projects spend on average of 42% of their time on administrative tasks. It's a fact of grant life, but we at OSP work to make it easier for you. Now, begin your project. Contact your sponsored programs administrator to get everything started, and congratulations from all of us at OSP.